What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to quickly cover the leaked patch notes for today, January 4th. Now there was supposed to be a patch that was going to drop today. However, there has been a delay. Ben has tweeted about this and the patch isn't actually going to come out until next week, unfortunately. But we do have these patch notes in front of us. Just a very quick note guys, this is all leaked. This could change since there is a delay. This might not happen, but here's a bit of an insight into what we think might be coming. Also, this was taken from a Korean site, so it's translated to English, so take the translation with a grain of salt because I'm not too sure how accurate it is. But okay, moving straight into it. Patch highlights. So the new feature, we knew this was coming for quite some time. Artist credits. You can now view the illustrator's information by clicking on the variant name above the card in the collection. We've all wanted this. I'm super happy that this is finally coming into the game. Moving on to general update. You can automatically filter your favorite variants when editing your deck in the collection view. Now, if the section where multiple cards trigger each other is too long, the time it takes to finish the loop automatically increases. For example, the Wong, Onslaught, Mystique, Ironheart. So this is really important. There was like a big thing in the game with Onslaught where like your opponent just had to sit through all of those really long Ironheart animation procs or like Gambit procs or something like that. So this actually just fixes that issue, which is great. They fixed the Orca issue, so Orca is now officially added to Series 4, which is great. New language support for Russian. New players who want to get started right away, we are releasing a Pro Bundle available for one-time purchase only. Includes 12,500 credits, plus boosters to upgrade 8 common cards to Infinity. That seems really interesting. Very curious about that. Now the number of collection tokens received by collecting all Series 3 cards with Collector's Treasure will change. I believe that's Collector's Reserve, maybe? Individual payout tokens are not set at 400 but will now be 200 to 600. However, the token acquisition rate remains the same. Okay, so that means we could possibly get 600 credits tokens out of a collection reserve, which is really interesting. Moving on to audio here, guys. There's new area sounds for Asgard and Daily Bugle. That'll be cool. New sounds for AERO and Polaris. Art and visual effects, they added AERO. Okay, this is the big thing. Balance update. This is what everybody wants to know about. Balance update, card update. So AERO is changed from a 5'8 back down to a 5'7. She was a 5'7 before. And the comment here is, AERO's effectiveness is great for both obstruction and control. Previously, we increased the AERO stats to where it is now, but since players have realized how to use it, we thought it might be a good idea to lower the power a bit. Okay, that's fair. I mean, AERO wasn't played a huge amount when she was a 5'7, but now she's quite popularized and she's a super powerful card. So her being a 5'7, I think won't really impact. Like, you don't really tend to play AERO for her pure stats. You play her for her effect. So I think this change is fine. Okay, Galactus. This is what you want to see here. So Galactus is changing from a 6'3 to a 6'2. Even at the highest ranked play, decks using Galactus have huge cube games and win rates. Some decks don't explicitly announce that Galactus will be coming, and there are plenty of support cards that some decks find difficult to counter. We're going to lower Galactus's power by 1 and then evaluate if further changes are needed. Okay, that's a fine change. I didn't want them to mess with his effect or anything. Don't know how I feel about like some decks use him when you can't see him coming. That's a big thing for me. I feel like you always know when your opponent's about to play Galactus, but one power difference, again, probably won't impact the card too much. Moving on to leader. It's always leader, chat. It's always leader. I'm saying chat. I'm doing a YouTube video. What's going on? Okay. So leader, he's changing from a 6'4 to a 6'3. And the comment is, many players are picky about leader effectiveness, and the ability to stop the game and make it difficult to play other 6-cost cards have often been a mixed bag. We're going to lower the power of it a bit and see if further modifications are needed later. Okay, change of 1 power is fine. People are still going to complain about it, but I think it's fine. It's actually funny. I was going to say if leader changes to a 6'3 and Galactus stayed at the 6'3, then leader doesn't counter Galactus as well. But since he's gone to a 6'2, it basically still wins against Galactus. But anyways, okay. Oh, interesting. Nova's changing from a 1-2 to a 1-1. Nova effect is much stronger than other 1-cost cards, so we didn't think it was appropriate for Nova to have the average stats of a 1-cost card. That's fair that it's not, I guess, the stats of a normal 1-cost card. But I don't know. I guess they just... Even after the beta Nova change, they're still changing him. But again, like, it's fair because like you never play Nova to keep him on the board. You're gonna destroy him anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. DRAX 4/4 appears. If your opponent played a card in this zone this turn, give it +4 power. If your opponent played a card in this zone this turn, oh, he's changing to a 4/5. Sorry. Oh, and his effect has changed. So he's changed to a 4/5. If your opponent has played a card in this zone this turn, give it +3 power. Again, this is translated, so this is why I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so he gets +3 instead of +4, but he goes to a 4/5 rather than a staying at a 4/4. So GRROT has a similar change. He's going to a 3/4 and he has +2 power. Okay, so the comment is, while you may think that Guardian's effects will create a lot of fun, it can also feel like an all or nothing game. We hope to increase DRAX and GRROT's base stats to lower the risk of playing cards and increase their attractiveness in the 3 and 4 cost slots. That's really interesting. Okay, HAZMAT gets a buff. We know there are some powerful looking HAZMAT combo decks, but HAZMAT's overall performance is not good. So in this update, we want to raise it slightly. That's great. Black Cat goes from a 3-6 to a 3-7. Black Cat's rarely used. We want to increase its attractiveness by increasing its power. Oh, 3-7 is very good. That's really interesting. And NAKIA, oh my god, NAKIA goes back to a 3-2. I think she was she always a 3-2? I think she was, yeah, she used to be a 3-2 that used to hit 2 random cards. We think the Key's effect is an interesting mechanic, but it currently has very low success rate. We want to buff it up a bit to make it a more attractive option. Okay, that is really, really interesting. Okay, so zone basically means locations in this article. So location update. Now, if there's a Professor X in Oscorp Tower, the card will not change faction. Okay, I actually haven't tested this out, but that's interesting. Update the text for Raft and Vibranium Mine. Decrease the chance of Warrior Falls appearing. Okay, that's interesting. I guess maybe the rate of that was a bit too high. And then there's a lot of bug fixes and known issues. We can skim through these. I'll just talk through them and I'll just highlight which ones are key, I think. Now, the game does not stop even in Adelan. Okay, that's a huge one. Addressed an issue where some areas such as Warrior Falls and Gamma Lab slowed down the game. The issue about Warrior Falls and Gamma Lab is huge because that's something people were complaining about a lot. Updated to give energy when the time stone is destroyed. Huge change. That was a big issue of mine, the time stone bug. So I'm glad that's fixed. Okay, so there's just a few other bugs we went over there, but they're not too important. List of known issues, I'll do the same here. So if there's any key ones, I'll highlight them. Okay, so there's a few different ones that I saw here, such as like when you move Ebony Maw, I'll just highlight it here. When you move Ebony Maw, the visual effect does not move. Some stuff like that. It's difficult to see the visual effect of Jessica Jones. So kind of like more so like visual stuff, but a big one just at the very bottom here is that cards can be unlocked by pressing escape into token shop UI. So they know this is an issue, and they're going to try their best to fix it. So that's actually happened to me where I pressed escape to quit the game on the PC client and it's unpinned my card. So that's a little bit frustrating. Oh, and here's another actually one here. Widow's Bite does not block Adelan's card draw. So these are like some like very kind of small situational things that some people might not know about. But if you want to read through them, you can, of course. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is all of the changes. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below about these changes. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the patch.